Hello guys, welcome back. My name's Nathan and today I'm going to be ranking the best NHL player from every hockey country. Now compared to basically every other sports league, the NHL has one of the most diverse groups of countries in the world. From players to Norway, from Canada obviously, there is so much to choose from. But who do I see as the best players in the league and the best player for every NHL country? Watch till the end to find out. Now for today's video, I picked one NHL player who I thought was the best for every hockey country. Some of these are major countries like Canada, USA, Sweden obviously, but some of them are minor. Some teams like Denmark, Norway, you got teams like Slovenia. Those teams don't have as many options, but they're still good hockey countries and I wanted to include them here. We'll go through 12 different countries from Canada down to Norway. Now we're going to start out today's ranking video with the best hockey country, that being Team USA. Wait, you're telling me Canada's the best hockey country? Alright, sure, we'll go with that. Starting with Team Canada, my best Canadian player, I have Connor McDavid. Center, age 22, he is an offensive beast. To me, the best player in the world right now, and the best offensive player in the world. And it's not even too close, I would say. Yes, you got guys like Kucherov up there, Crosby, McKinnon, but to me, McDavid is on the class of his own. You got some other great Canadians, obviously, right behind him, and guys like McKinnon, Sidney Crosby, who are also pretty good players. But Connor McDavid easily takes the cake. Now, of course, I was joking earlier. Obviously, the best hockey country is easily Switzerland. Nobody can touch them, but Canada is a close second, trust me. Now, Canada obviously has an amazing set of players right now, from guys like Connor McDavid, to Crosby, to McKinnon, to John Tavares. There is so many guys to offer when it comes to Team Canada, and that's how it's always been. They've dominated the NHL for as long as the NHL has been a thing, and it makes sense too. And the Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby thing also symbolizes that. Having Crosby and McDavid, two generational talents, back-to-back is just miraculous, and they could have the same thing going with Alexis Lafreniere in next year's draft. Speaking of Switzerland, easily the best hockey country on earth, going to them next and their best player, in my opinion the best Swiss player on the planet right now, is Timo Meier. Right winger, age 22, with the San Jose Sharks. It was very close between him and Roman Josi. Both players are elite in the NHL right now, but Swiss also has some other good players too. Guys like Nico Hischier, who will become amazing players in the NHL, who kind of already are. But Timo Meier, to me, is the highlight of that group. This past season, in 78 games, 30 goals, 36 assists for 66 points. But even without those points, he's a dominant player on the ice. If you watched San Jose last season, he might have looked like the best forward on that group because a lot of nights he kind of was. In my opinion, he's one of the most underrated and best right wingers in the league and has played like that in the past couple of years. Now getting into Team USA, of course my team, and for my best Team USA player, this is cheating a little bit, but I have a tie between two players. That being Austin Matthews and John Gibson. Obviously, I'm wearing the Anaheim Ducks gear. If I had to give an edge just slightly, I would give it to John Gibson. I think John Gibson is the best goalie in the league, but Austin Matthews, that offensive potential, and being one of the best centers in the NHL, it was practically a tie for me. And it goes so close between the two. Austin Matthews, one of the most skilled goal scorers we've seen in a long time. One of the best Americans we've seen since, again, Patrick Kane in his prime, really. He's a guy that could be the next Team USA captain and the best forward in 2022, which for that Olympic team looks pretty good right now. Speaking of looks pretty good, we have the tiemate in John Gibson. Again, as I said before, in my opinion, the best goalie in the league when he's on his game. He was dominant last season, and unfortunately the Anaheim defense was pretty much crap, so John Gibson didn't really stand too much of a chance in the Vezina race, but if he gets a better defense and, you know, doesn't face 50 shots a game every night, I think he will have multiple Vezinas in his career. Has fantastic goals, hit above average numbers, looks fantastic on the ice, and is basically a human highlight reel every other game. Now for our next hockey country, we're going to do a deep dive into Germany, and in my opinion, the best German player on the planet being Leon Draisaitl. Center/winger with the Edmonton Oilers at age 23. Draisaitl is coming off a terrific year of the Oilers, 50 goals, over 100 points, overall just being an absolute dynamic stud alongside Connor McDavid. Yes, it does help a lot that Connor McDavid is on his wing, but he is a pretty good player in his own right and has proved himself as a great point producer for the Oilers so far. There's not too much other competition for German-born players, which kind of sucks, but you see guys like Draisaitl, Dominic Bach coming up in the past couple of years, and that's been fantastic to see. Overall, the future for Germany hockey is looking better and better, and Leon Draisaitl will obviously lead that group. Now going into one of the most dynamic and dominant countries in hockey, that being Team Sweden. And in my opinion, the best Swede in the earth right now is Erik Karlsson. It's a super close race between Karlsson and Victor Hedman, but to me, Karlsson just barely takes the cake there. To me, Karlsson is the best defenseman in the league when he is healthy, and next year of San Jose, it's looking like he will be, which for a lot of people will be a scary threat, because I think he will be in the Norris contention. He will put up some of the best points numbers in the league, and thankfully his leg isn't collapsing on himself, which is always a nice plus. Ever since he was on Ottawa, I've always loved to see him play hockey, and hopefully we see him play some great hockey with San Jose next year. Going into probably the most unknown hockey country in today's video, I have Slovenia. Now I included Slovenia here because they have one active player in the NHL right now, but he's a pretty good player, that being Anze Kopitar. Center with the LA Kings at age 32, Kopitar is still LA's best offensive player. While he had a down year defensively, is still one of the better two-way centers in the league. He is getting older, in his 30s now, but again, there is no other competition for this spot. I include him basically only for Kopitar, which for Slovenia, at least they have him. Now we're getting into my second favorite hockey country behind Team USA, my boys from Team Finland. Now, this was a heavy race between Sebastian Aho and Alexander Barkov. But if I'm deciding on a better overall player, I love you, Aho, but Barkov's a pretty good two-way player last time I checked. Obviously, a center at age 24 with the Florida Panthers had a terrific year last year offensively for Florida. Both even strength on the power play, was an absolute beast. Yes, his defense did take a step back, but I think it's more of a fluke year rather than the norm when it comes to Barkov. He should be back to form next year and probably in the Selke contention, but either way, he is Team Finland's best player. They have a ton of fantastic talent coming up, especially in the past few years, and prospect-wise, Capo Caco is looking pretty good. Now getting into the Czech Republic, and in my opinion the best Czech player right now in the NHL is David Pastrnak. Right winger, age 23 of the Boston Bruins. David Pastrnak to me is one of the most dominant wingers when healthy in the NHL. Played just below 70 games, but when he did play, got over 80 points, and was just dynamic for the Boston Bruins offensively. Yes, his defense does need work, but the offense more than makes up for it. Now, the Czech Republic has some decent players around them, but none of them are at that elite level that David Pastrnak has. Being a late first-round pick back in 2014, he's come a long way since then, but again, to me, he's one of the best Boston players and one of the best NHL players overall in the league. Getting into the hockey country that I just can't help but root for, we're getting into Team Denmark and their best player. And in my opinion, the best Great Dane being Freddie Andersen. Now, Team Denmark has some great players besides Freddie, guys like Bjorkstrand, guys like Nikolai Ehlers, but Freddie Andersen easily tops the tier when it comes to Danish-born players. Being one of the best goalies in the world, one of Toronto's best goalies in a long time, he has a just crazy workload, having to deal with guys like Zaitsev and Ron Haynes in the past couple of years has not been too kind to him. He has an insane workload with that Toronto defense, but still puts up relatively good numbers, which, honestly, is a miracle. Now we're jumping in straight into Slovakia, and thankfully Slovakia has a lot more options than Slovenia, and they have some great players too. Slovakia, though, to me, their best player is Tomas Tatar. Obviously, the Montreal Canadiens, being a right winger, age 28, he had a ridiculously good season last year with Montreal, and just overall was a beast offensively. Had a great time just going past defenses and being a god for some reason. As a Vegas Golden Knights fan, again, I'm still offended by that season because he didn't do that with us, but he was amazing with Montreal. A play driver in every sense of the word. One of the more underrated wingers in the NHL too, and with Montreal, one of their best offensive players. Full Slovakia, they don't have too many more elite options, but to me, Tomas Tatar, one of the best names in the NHL, but also is freaking good at hockey, which is pretty important. Now getting into Team Russia, one of the big powerhouses in hockey, and while Team Russia I would say is kind of weakening as a lot of their star players are getting older, they still have some excellent talent. Nikita Kucherov, who just scored the most points since Yager and Lemieux in the 90s, is a good showcasing of that. To me, the pick is Nikita Kucherov. You could pick amazing guys like Alex Ovechkin, Alexander Radulov, Sergei Bobrovsky, but to me, Nikita Kucherov is the guy. One of the best players in the NHL offense, obviously showcasing that last year at Tampa. He's been that way for a while. A dominant player, and while I wouldn't say he's this guy that dominates the ice by himself, with his teammates on Tampa who are obviously excellent, he's done a fantastic job at creating offense. And no other player does it better, especially when it comes to wingers. He's been great in the past few years, and hopefully as a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, he continues to be that good. It might be a little bit of a stretch, but a man can hope. And while the prospect development for Team Russia has kind of slowed in recent years, you still have some fantastic young players, like guys like Andrei Svechnikov, who just came into the scene. And for the goaltenders, Ilya Sorokin and Igor Shesterkin, the best two goaltending prospects in the league, that's not bad whatsoever. Honestly, Team Russia is great at offense, defense, and goaltending. They really do play puck good. Please get me out of here. Vladimir Putin is holding me against my will. I do not have much time left. Please. Okay, thankfully I got out of that place. I'm good, I'm safe, and now we can go to the last country I'll mention in today's video. We got Team Norway. Now, Team Norway has two players active in the NHL. One is kind of active, kind of not. I'm not sure why he's there, but either way, my pick is Matt Zuccarello. I basically included Norway here because of Matt Zuccarello, the Norway Knight. Absolutely amazing. Now, sadly, with the Minnesota Wild, it just doesn't look right. But either way, the best Norway player and the best Norway player in their history. And it's not exactly close either. But there you have it. That is my best player for every hockey country right now in the NHL. Now, of course, I will admit I was reaching on a couple of those. Having Norway and Slovenia in there wasn't exactly my plan to start out, but I did want to give attention to those small hockey countries who basically just have one guy to lead them. Again, Anze Kopitar and Matt Zuccarello basically being the gods for those countries is just super entertaining and fun to watch. And even with the other hockey countries, the major ones, teams like Canada, USA, those teams are always fun to rank. But of course, with this video, I need to hear your guys' thoughts down in those comments down below. So let me know what you think about my picks for the best player for every hockey country, what you agree and disagree with, and of course the question on to you, who do you think is the best player for your hockey country? But if you guys want some more Grav videos just like this one, you should click on this card right here to watch my video on the best NHL player for every age, from age 18 to age 40. But that'll be it for today, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Again, comment down below your thoughts on my picks, what you agree and disagree with. Share this video with your friends. Also, try to go to the Grav Gang as much as humanly possible. I'm Nathan, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Goodbye.